Guys, thanks for tuning in to another video. If you haven't subscribed yet, push the subscribe button, push the like button, will help this video. But today's video is kind of a cool one. This will end up being blown up comments, I guarantee it. But the topic of the morning, guys, this morning's topic is reasons why people like myself, I'm a single person, reasons why I might shy away from dating a woman that has kids or multiple kids. Yes, I have dated single moms before that had children. It didn't end up working out in the long run for a couple different reasons. But we're going to get in today's video, guys. The first reason why men like myself, I am single, the reason why I might shy away from dating a person that has children, a woman that has kids, and there's tons of single moms around, right? The number one reason, guys, is most likely that I couldn't afford it, because I make enough money to support myself. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I do have a job, um, but I make enough money to just support myself. I wouldn't be able to afford to have a couple rugrats right now. I just wouldn't be able to afford it. Driving them to soccer games, picking up from practice, trips through drive-through, more grocery bills, higher grocery bills, more responsibility. You can add in cooking. I know when I was visiting with a single mom this summer, she was expecting me to cook with her child, which I enjoyed doing. She had a beautiful daughter, that I enjoyed cooking with. I cared about her. But she would expect me to cook with this person, and it wasn't my child. And it actually led to a fight with us. One night she wanted me to cook burgers with her daughter, and my brother called. He wanted to go out for pizza. So I told the woman, my friend that has children, she was like a girlfriend of mine. Wasn't sexual, but she was a girlfriend of mine. My brother wanted to take me out for pizza, and so I said to her, we had just recently got like groceries, we got burgers and stuff, and I was planning on cooking burgers with her daughter. Before I left, I was going to leave before sunset, before the sun went down. I was going to leave, but I couldn't do it, and because my brother called. I hadn't seen my brother for a couple weeks, so I was like, of course I'd like to see my brother for pizza. So I told her, I can't make burgers with your daughter tonight, because my brother called. Immediately she gets upset. She tells me not to come back. She tells me just don't even bother coming back. So it like caused a fight with us that ruined our friendship at the moment, because I wouldn't cook cheeseburgers with her daughter. That's a perfect example how dealing with single moms can cause issues because you're, taking care of their kids. Like, when I would go visit this woman, I would cook with her kids to help her out, and then end up heading out or sleeping in my car. She had other guys that she was involved with, so I respected that. At the end of our relationship, I was sleeping in my car outside. So I'd help her a little bit, help with the kids a little bit, and then at the end of the night, I'd sleep in my car. And then eventually we just end up going separate ways for a while. But that's one example of how having kids in the picture can cause issues. She wanted me to cook cheeseburgers for her daughter that night, and she had another child too. And my brother called up, wanted to go for pizza, and so she got upset. I had to leave. So anyway, guys, the first reason is going to be that men have a hard time affording it. We really do have a hard time affording it. The money for people like me that don't have a lot of money, it's scary thinking about dating a woman with a lot of kids because there is financial responsibilities that come along with that. The number two is the long-term risk of getting, of things going bad in the relationship, and then you've done all this work with the kids for literally nothing. This happened to a family member of mine. He ended up having a baby with a single mom. He actually got her pregnant on the first date. Ended up having a baby with her, and she had one other child. Her child that she had in the picture that wasn't my brother's, her child was like a problem child. He was a very behavioral young man. He ended up getting my brother, possibly charged with child abuse. That ended up being a false accusation. He ended up having to go to court for that because of the child making up fucking bullshit to his father. And then they end up taking my brother to court for child abuse accusations, which were false. It was false accusations just to ruin their relationship. But the long-term risk of doing all this work, my brother, I'll give my brother as an example. I mean, he had spent like 10 years with this young man that was not his child. 10 years raising this young boy, 10 years being a father to this young boy, going through drive-through, almost on a daily basis, donuts, drinks, value meals, Happy Meals. I guarantee my brother's probably spent about $10,000 on this young man. Just at the end of it, he's like 17 right now, and he just gives my brother the big fuck you because my brother broke up with his mom. They weren't working out, and so they broke up. And at the end of it, the son gave my brother the big fuck you. And so that's why men like us, we really hesitate to do the long road with your child, because if things go south with me and the girlfriend, we've just done all this work with the child for nothing. Just to have you turn us against the child, turn the child against us. So number 3, guys, is going to be dealing with rotten, jealous baby daddies. That's one thing I've experienced firsthand. The threats. I'm gonna kick your ass. I don't want you with my woman. I don't want you around my kids. That sort of thing. That's not the case every time. Sometimes there is good fathers out there that understand that their ex-partners are going to date again. And they can be cool about it. But there's a lot of jealous, rotten baby daddies out there that people like me just don't want to fucking deal with. Number 4, fear of long-term commitment. So when there's kids in the picture, you're thinking, Jesus, this could be 18 to 30-year relationship. The kids are going to be with us till age 18. So this is a major, major commitment. And I think men get scared. They shy away from that long-term commitment. They get scared. Let's see. Number 5, you can say goodbye to your freedom. Having children nowadays is like a jail sentence. I mean, you can't go out. You got to babysit the kids. I know my sister, she has a child. Ever since she's had kids, she's been like in a prison. She can't leave home. One of her kids has special needs, so she can't leave home. She hasn't been on a date in about 10 years. She can't get any guys to sign up to be a father for her because her child is kind of a behavioral problem child and the men don't want to deal with it. So that's going to be another reason, guys. If you have a child that's a problem child, maybe he has severe autism, maybe he has severe, retardation that's not his fault, but just high maintenance work. So when guys like me come in, excuse me for my nose, when guys come in the picture, they end up having to do this work to, especially if you have a special needs child it starts feeling like you're at a group home or you're at some sort of special facility for high needs care children. So it starts to feel like a job more than a family situation. Number 6, like we just talked about, guys, the major behavioral problems, a lot of these single moms, because their kids have no authority in their life, their father dipped on them. So you're going to see the behavioral problems. You're going to see rotten children. You're going to see oppositional defiant behavior. You're going to see conduct disorder behavior, which can be diagnosed after age 16. Starts as conduct disorder and then goes to antisocial personality disorder as an adult. Another thing you could run into is you could end up getting threats of false accusation. I mean, like, for example, you could have a stepdaughter and, you just had to take away her cell phone because she's talking to some fucked up adult on Facebook, right? Some predator. So you've taken away her cell phone. Now this stepdaughter says to you, you keep fucking with me. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say that you touched me, or I'm gonna say that you did something to me. That's a real threat, guys. That happens all the time. Children false report, out of anger. I was working at a group home, guys, and I had one of my clients was mad at me for something, and he filed a false report on me, a completely false report. That's what some of these young people can do. Clients can do this when they're angry. they file false reports against you. So you could have a stepdaughter. Next thing you know, you're in handcuffs because she's telling someone that you've touched her, you've done something to her. Now you're in fucking jail because she's making false accusations against you. And who are they going to believe, the child or you? Most likely they're going to believe the child. So having to pay for all those lawyer fees to prove your innocence, prove to the judge you're innocent, prove to the community you're innocent is just a big fucking hassle that you don't want to go through. One piece of advice I can give to you women out there is, I heard a story of it today. This woman invites this guy, the single mom invites this guy to a cabin. It was like her father's cabin or something like that. And then has like a big fuck fest with the guy for 2 or 3 days. And then, they hadn't seen each other for a couple weeks. And then she hits him up and says, "Hey, where you been? Are we still getting together?" And he says, "I'm a big man, but I'm not big enough of a man to take care of somebody else's children." So that's that, that's him pulling the wool over her eyes. That's antisocial behavior. He totally manipulated her for the sex. The biggest piece of advice I can give to you single moms out there is stop giving your pussy away to these fucked up guys that just want pussy. That's not fair to you, and it's emotionally heartbreaking. It's not fair to you at all. So one thing you ladies can do is stop giving these people the milk for free. Why are they going to buy the cow if they can get the milk for free? If you're giving them sex, casual sex for free, they're not going to commit to you and your child. They're just going to dip in and dip out. I've seen this firsthand. People have treated my sister like this. She has a special needs child. These guys would just dip into her house for sex and then dip out, dip in for sex, dip out. She tells me that's what they do. They don't commit. They just want sex. And so she's had to end relationships because they were being scumbags. They were being selfish scumbags. And she had to end the relationship. So one thing you single moms out there can do is stop giving up sex to these guys unless they're doing what you want. If you want them to be like a father figure to your children, then make that part of the rules. If you don't want to be part of my children's life, then you're not going to get sex. That can be the deal. If you don't want to play frisbee with Jimmy outside, if you don't want to play video games with Bobby, if you don't want to play Uno with Sally Susie cakes at the table, because a lot of these single moms have daughters too, so you may end up having to play Uno with Sally Susie cakes at the kitchen table. If your boyfriends aren't willing to put in the effort for your children, then they don't deserve the sex. They don't get blowjobs. They don't get sex. They don't get to fuck your pussy. If they're just going to be the dip in, dip out guy, they don't get to fuck you. Make that a rule. If they're not gonna be loving to your children, be there for your kids, be part of your kids' life, then why do they deserve the sex? Because you're at this point a family. If they don't want to be part of the family, then they can fuck off. Unless you make a deal up front, you may be the woman that more or less doesn't give a fuck, and you may make an agreement up front. Hey, Bobby, guy I'm dating, you don't want to be involved with my kids. Fine, we can just fuck. If you just make that an agreement right up front, then I guess that would be okay. If you just make it a casual sex thing. But most women don't want that. Let's be honest. Most of you women want men to actually stick around. But it's expensive taking care of other people's kids. I mean, last summer, guys, I was helping out a friend with her kids. I would take their kids through drive-through a couple times a week. That's expensive. And just to get in a fight with this woman at the end of the month. She was dating a younger guy. She wasn't dating me. I was a close friend of hers for about 20 years. So we were never dating. We were just close friends. And she was dating a younger guy right across the street from her house. And I was more or less just her friend, right? One of her best friends. And, I would be taking her kids through drive-through a couple times a week. That's expensive. Taking her through drive-through a couple times a week, expensive, right? Just to have a big fight at the end of the summer because my brother wanted me to take me out for pizza and I couldn't make burgers with her daughter that night. She got all mad, told me not to come back. That's a perfect example, guys, of men just wasting their time. Here I had spent all my money all summer on her kids and her, just to get the big fuck you at the end of the summer, because I couldn't make burgers with a daughter because my brother wanted to go out for pizza. That's a perfect example, guys. And I haven't been back since. It's been 5 or 6 months since I've seen this woman with her children, all from that one fight, guys, because I wanted to go out for pizza with my brother. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in this video. If you guys have any comments on why men shy away from dating women with children, leave it in the comments. If you women have any ideas of why men shy away from dating you if you have kids, leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this video. You could share it with a friend. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, Steve-O signing out. Boop.